Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Davies. I'm a criminal defense lawyer based out of Overland Park, Kansas. In this video, I'm going to be talking about house arrest in a municipal court and how that applies to your case, how it can be utilized to your advantage, and things of that nature. Now, when someone starts talking about house arrest, there's generally two avenues or two ways that house arrest comes into play in any criminal case. The first is if a person is placed on house arrest as a condition of bond. So in other words, a person gets arrested on a crime, and while their crime is pending, the judge says, I want to put you on house arrest so I can assure that you will come back to court, or for whatever reason the judge wants to do it. And that happens quite often in some of the municipal courts here in town. Another way that house arrest can be utilized is in the punishment stage of a crime. So say someone has been charged with the crime, they've either pled guilty or been found guilty, and they're talking about the sentencing or the punishment that they're going to have to serve for their crime. For example, instead of throwing somebody in jail on a petty crime, the prosecutor and the defense lawyer can come to some sort of agreement to put them on house arrest. So there's two real ways that house arrest can be applied in a municipal court setting. It's far more common on the sentencing side of it. So we're going to focus more of the information on the sentencing side and how house arrest applies on that. So once someone has worked out a deal with the prosecutor on some sort of plea, or they have been sentenced by a judge and gotten house arrest as a punishment, what happens next? Well, generally they're going to go to the court services part of the court, depending on what municipality it's in, and they will get signed up for house arrest. Most in our jurisdiction, Johnson County, use Johnson County as the house arrest monitoring agency. They'll go out to Gardner, they'll get set up with some equipment. There's various different types of equipment that the person can be on depending on the availability of Johnson County's system. Then that person will be drug tested. Before they can actually start house arrest, they're gonna have to have some sort of a baseline to determine how much drugs is in their system, or what drugs is in their system, or if any drugs is in their system. Then periodically, during the term of their house arrest, they're going to be drug tested further, and then that will be compared to their baseline urea to see if any levels of any type of drugs have been introduced into their system while on house arrest. Generally, whenever someone's placed on house arrest, there'll be an end date, or what they call a review date. And that will be a time for you to come back to court and show that you've completed house arrest and done everything you're supposed to do. So you'll have the date that you get sentenced, a date that you start house arrest, sometimes those are on the same date. You will be drug tested throughout house arrest, and then at the end of house arrest, you'll have to go back to the court and say, look, I've done the things I'm supposed to do. Now, there's other conditions of house arrest, and sometimes they're pretty flexible. You can still go to work while on house arrest, generally. You can still do the things that a person needs to do to get by in their everyday average life. Now, you can't go to bars or go to a party or go to someone's birthday party or things like that. House arrest won't allow that, but generally, house arrest is pretty amicable to doing the things that a person regularly needs to do in their life. And they just monitor you. It's going to have a GPS monitor on you all the time, and they will be able to tell if you did the things that you said you were going to do, or if you varied from your plan and frolicked and did something you're not supposed to do. And then they'll file a notice to the court that you violated house arrest, and you'll be facing a revocation of your house arrest privilege. As you can see, house arrest has some benefits and it has some drawbacks. If you have any questions about being placed on house arrest or any questions about the criminal justice system, feel free to contact my office for a free consultation.